There's something uncomfortable you already know, but you avoid thinking about it. Not because you don't understand it, but because once you admit it, you can't go back. Your brain is being wasted, and deep down, you know it. You feel it in those quiet moments when the noise finally stops. When you're not scrolling, not watching, not consuming, not distracting yourself. There's a subtle awareness sitting underneath everything, a feeling that you're capable of more, but you're not living up to it. It's not loud, it doesn't scream, but it's there, constantly, reminding you that something isn't right. And instead of confronting that feeling, most people do what they've trained themselves to do. They escape it, they open another app, they play another video, they check another notification, they fill their mind with noise so they don't have to sit with the truth, because the truth requires something most people are not willing to give. Responsibility. Here's the reality most people will never say out loud. You are not lacking intelligence. You are lacking control over your own mind. And that is a much bigger problem. Because if you were truly not intelligent, there would be nothing you could do about it. You could accept your limitations and move on, but that's not your situation. Your situation is worse. You have the ability to think, to learn, to grow, to build something meaningful, and yet you are not using it. That means the problem is not your capacity, the problem is your behavior. Your brain is not broken, it is trained. Every single day, whether you realize it or not, you are training your brain. Every action you repeat, every distraction you indulge in, every time you avoid something difficult, you are reinforcing a pattern. You are wiring your brain to operate in a certain way. You are teaching it what matters, what to focus on, what to avoid, and what to crave. And right now, most people are training their brains to be weak. Look at how your day actually unfolds. You wake up, and before your mind even has a chance to think clearly, you reach for your phone. Not because you made a conscious decision, but because it's automatic. You don't think, you react. You don't choose, you scroll. Within minutes, your brain is flooded with information that has nothing to do with your life, your goals, or your growth. You're consuming before you've even created a single original thought, and then you repeat this pattern all day. Short bursts of attention, constant stimulation, endless scrolling, no depth, no sustained focus, no real thinking. Just reaction after reaction after reaction. And then at the end of the day, you feel mentally drained, unable to concentrate, unable to focus, unable to think clearly. And you wonder why, but the answer is right in front of you. You trained your brain this way. Your brain didn't betray you. It didn't randomly become distracted, unfocused, and weak. You programmed it. Every time you chose distraction over focus, comfort over effort, reaction over intention, you reinforced that behavior. And now your brain is simply doing what it has been trained to do. This is where most people stop thinking, because this is where it becomes uncomfortable. If your brain is the result of your habits, then your lack of focus, your lack of discipline, your lack of clarity is not random. It's not bad luck. It's not something that just happened to you. It's something you created. And that realization is heavy because it removes the excuse. It removes the illusion that something outside of you is holding you back. It forces you to confront something much harder. You are responsible for the state of your mind. Most people resist that immediately. They push back. They say it's stress. They say it's their environment. They say it's their job, their situation, their circumstances. And yes, those things play a role, but they are not the root problem. The root problem is this: you have allowed your brain to become addicted to comfort. And comfort is not just physical, it's mental. It's the habit of avoiding effort, avoiding deep thinking, avoiding focus, avoiding anything that requires sustained attention or discipline. Your brain has been conditioned to seek what is easy, fast, and immediately rewarding. And over time, that conditioning becomes your default state. Your brain begins to crave distraction. It begins to resist effort. It begins to reject anything that feels difficult. And eventually, you reach a point where even basic tasks feel overwhelming. Reading feels hard, thinking feels exhausting, working feels frustrating, sitting in silence feels unbearable. But it's not because those things are inherently difficult. It's because your brain has been trained to reject them. This is why intelligence alone means nothing. There are people who are incredibly intelligent who accomplish nothing with their lives. And there are people with average intelligence who build discipline, focus, and consistency, and they outperform everyone around them. The difference is not intelligence. The difference is control. Control over attention, control over habits, control over the direction of your own thoughts, control over what you allow your brain to focus on and what you refuse to entertain. This is what people misunderstand about intelligence. They think it's about knowledge. They think it's about how much you know or how quickly you can learn. But real intelligence is not just about thinking. It's about directing your thinking. And if you don't have control over your mind, your intelligence becomes useless because you can't apply it. You can't focus long enough to use it. You can't think deeply enough to develop it. You can't stay disciplined enough to turn it into results. You have the tool, but you don't have control over how it's used. So what happens? You live below your potential, not because you had to, but because you never trained your mind to operate at a higher level. And this is where the truth becomes unavoidable. Most people will stay like this forever, not because they can't change, but because change requires something they've been avoiding their entire lives. Discomfort. Real change is not exciting. It's not motivational. It's not something you feel inspired to do. It's repetitive, it's boring, it's frustrating, it's sitting down and focusing when your brain is screaming for distraction. It's choosing silence when you're used to noise. It's choosing effort when you're used to ease. It's choosing to think instead of react. And most people won't do that because they've built their identity around comfort. They've convinced themselves that they need to feel ready, feel motivated, feel inspired before they take action. But those feelings don't come first. They come after. You don't wait to feel focused. You train focus. You don't wait to feel disciplined. You build discipline. You don't wait for your brain to change. You force it to change through repeated action. And this is where everything shifts. The moment you stop treating your brain like something that controls you and start treating it like something you control, you take your power back. You begin to see your thoughts differently. You begin to see your habits differently. You begin to realize that your attention is not random. Your impulses are not random. Your patterns are not random. They are learned. And because they are learned, they can be unlearned and replaced, but only if you're willing to confront the truth that you've been wasting your mind, the truth that you've been choosing distraction over growth, the truth that you've been avoiding the very things that would make you stronger, sharper, more capable. And once you see that clearly, you can't ignore it anymore. That's when everything becomes a decision. Every time you reach for your phone, you know what you're doing. Every time you avoid something difficult, you know what you're doing. Every time you choose comfort over effort, you know exactly what path you're reinforcing. You are either strengthening your mind or weakening it. There is no neutral. Every action is training. Every moment is shaping your brain. Every decision is moving you in a direction, whether you realize it or not. So the question is no longer whether you are capable. The question is what you are training yourself to become. Because if you continue on the same path, nothing changes. Your focus stays weak. Your discipline stays inconsistent. Your thinking stays shallow. Your potential stays unused. But if you decide to take control, truly take control, everything begins to shift. Not instantly, not overnight, but steadily. Your attention improves. Your thoughts become clearer. Your ability to focus strengthens. Your discipline becomes more consistent. And over time, you become someone different. Someone who can sit with discomfort without running from it. Someone who can think deeply without needing constant stimulation. Someone who can actually use their intelligence instead of wasting it. And that is the difference. Not talent, not luck, not genetics. Control. Most people will never take that step. They will continue wasting their brain while convincing themselves they're trying. They will stay stuck in cycles of distraction and comfort, never realizing that the very habits they protect are the ones holding them back. But you don't have to be one of them, because you already know the truth. You've felt it, you've seen it, you've avoided it. Now the only question left is, what are you going to do about it?